Hi, guys, and welcome back to Deep Waves Transformation. Today, I'd like to welcome to the show Brittni Cosgrove, a transformational life and business coach who empowers ambitious souls to become their most magnetic, authentic, and confident selves so they can create greater impact doing what they love. Whether you're scaling a business, launching a nonprofit, or seeking deeper, more fulfilling relationships, Brittni guides clients in mastering their mindset and breaking free from the subconscious patterns that keep them stuck. She is a certified mastery coach, breathwork facilitator, speaker, and the resident life coach for the nonprofit Travel Through Trauma. Through her private coaching programs and her signature group program, Magnetic Mastery, Brittni helps people shift from survival mode into alignment, peace, and purpose. In this conversation, we'll explore powerful topics like how subconscious beliefs shape our lives, breaking cycles of self-sabotage, and what it really means to step into your magnetic authenticity. Brittni, thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
I am so good. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. So I know you help people step into their most magnetic, authentic, and confident selves. But before we dive in, can you share a little bit about your personal journey and what led you down this path as a transformational life and business coach?
Absolutely. It's funny because even just 5 to 10 years ago, I would have been floored to realize that this is where I would be ending up. So really, I tune back to when I was little, probably kindergarten, first-ish grade. I learned the word career and I loved it. I loved the idea of working. I'm a Virgo sun, one on the Enneagram. I loved just creating and this momentum and this fuel. So this fueled a lot of perfectionism, a lot of high achieving, and a lot of ambition. But fast forward to my later years, I was just so overworked and I ended up in burnout in my early 20s. So then in 2020, when the rest of the world hit pause, I actually hit pause for the very first time in my life. And during that time, I just started really questioning, what do I want?
Same.
Where am I going? Yeah, really getting clear on like, what is the purpose of any of this? The way I had been doing things wasn't working. I was exhausted. I was just done with all of that. And yeah, I was like, okay, I'm in my 20s. There has to be something more. So when I started really tuning
Yeah.
inward and asking these questions, I just kind of felt that pull into like, okay, let's just see what I can create. So I opened my first online business that year and I fell in love with entrepreneurship and this whole creating for me and using all of this momentum that had been over abused in past workplaces. I finally got to pour all of that into building something I was so proud of and so in love with. And it was at the end of that year, I was actually listening to a podcast, which is one of the reasons why podcasting is so near and dear to my heart. I was listening to this podcast and this life coach was on it. Everything she was saying was speaking to my soul. And mind you, at this point, I thought that the coaching industry was so fake, so woo woo, and that it was either the highlight reel on Instagram or it was like the Tony Robbins rah, 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 do, do, do. And I was like, I don't want any of that. None of it feels real. And but everything that she was saying on this podcast, I was like, oh, it was so deep. It was about really getting to the root of what holds us back, not treating the surface level. And a few weeks later, I had just been diving into what does this world look like? What could it mean? I enrolled in my first year-long certification program and I never looked back. It has just been the most fulfilling, rewarding work, both on a personal level. My life is completely different and so much more powerful and expansive than I ever thought could have been possible. And I get to see that mirrored in everyone I work with. It's just beautiful.
So, what are some of the traumas that you have experienced that allows you to help your clients, per se?
Something that most people don't realize is that I started struggling with severe anxiety and depression when I was about 5 or 6 years old. So I was very little and already in this emotionally shutting down state and hyper inner critic, just really, really struggling with just existing. And at the same time, I was constantly being told, like, oh, you're this bubbly, pretty little girl, smile on your face, cheerleader vibes. And so I constantly felt like I had to wear this mask to the world. And my inner world was just pure turmoil, so challenging. And yet I didn't know anything could be different. I thought that was just how life went. We hide our insides, we show the world who they think that we should be. And then by the time I was in high school, everyone knew the mask, but inside I was suffering. And it wasn't until I was in college where I would wake up every single morning and my anxiety and was so bad that I would wake up and go throw up first thing in the morning. And I didn't
Oh
know
my God.
that was not normal. I thought that was just who I am.
Right.
It was so
Right.
interwoven with my identity and my nervous system and my body. I didn't know any better. And it wasn't until I started diving into life coaching techniques. So that first certification program, it's a very inner outer program. So the first half was all doing the work on myself, coaching with peers, and really excavating everything that was there. So before stepping into the coaching world, my anxiety on my best days when I was thriving would sit at about an 8 out of 10. That was when I was doing amazing. After a
Right.
couple months of really working with my inner child, working with some of the mindset and just diving into healing that inner world, I had taken that anxiety from an 8 out of 10 on my best days to like a 3 or 4 out of 10 on my worst days. And I knew not only did I have tools to work with that energy, I had also started distancing myself. Like, I am not my anxiety. I might have anxiety, I might feel anxious, but I am so much more than my anxiety. And to me, just healing that has been one of the most profound experiences. And then on top of that, I've been able to heal just past childhood experiences, things from family and parents and other components that, most people don't realize that like our subconscious is primarily developed in our young childhood by the age of 7. And so when we do things like inner child work or we're going back to reprogram the subconscious, we're using those experiences from the past and healing them at such an innate level where we get to be what we needed in that moment from our present self. It sounds a little meta, but it's just been so powerful and so nourishing.
So you've done a lot of shadow work, journaling then?
I love shadow work. I love projection work. I I would say I am a self-development junkie. Like growth is my number one core value. But in general, I just
Me
think
too.
that in order to I love learning about myself. It's so fun.
I'm
Even when it's
obsessed.
not fun, it's
Actually, it's
fun.
become an addiction.
Right?
So it's
It
fine.
does,
It's
and it
fine.
never ends. That the fact that self-development and the healing journey never ends used to be such a pain point for me. And now I'm like, oh, I get to do this for forever as long as I want to.
Yeah, right? You felt like you
Yeah.
were ready. So was there an actual day, like, in your journey that you woke up and you were like, "Okay, I need to do something different." Was there an actual day?
Mm,
Like, for me, my,
yes,
like, surrender day was, like, August 14th, 2023. That was the day I fully surrendered. It's been
I
beautiful
love
ever
that.
since.
I remember I was driving home one day. So I was living in the Florida Keys. I had everything in my external life was perfect.
Oh
The
my gosh,
house,
I'm
the
literally right
relationship,
here
the
in Key
career.
Largo.
Oh my goodness, I was in Key West. I love this.
That's
That's
amazing.
so funny. I almost asked, like, everything about your setup just screams Florida. I was like, oh, so tropical.
I'm literally right
uh,
here in the Keys. So, yeah, thank you.
that's so
It's
funny. Oh my gosh, I
beautiful. It's
love that.
paradise.
I love, love, love the Keys. But okay, so
Yes,
exactly that. So
me
you
too.
get it. I was driving home on the highway, ocean on both sides, gorgeous commute. I had all the external things lined up. It should have been perfect. And yet I just remember really struggling with some dark, heavy thoughts. And it was just really a wake up call that where I was heading, whatever was going on wasn't okay anymore. Like something needed to change or we're going to have some really serious complications soon. And so it was such a surreal moment where I just woke up to how it didn't matter all these things I had externally because I had all the things that should have made a perfect life. and yet somehow is so empty and so unfulfilled and just so disconnected internally. And it was, yeah, I remember getting home, being very thankful that I got home. And just 'cause that was when I started getting really honest with myself and really questioning, like, whatever I'm doing, something needs to change. And the tricky thing was, I didn't know what needed to change. I didn't know what that last component was.
Right.
But it was like you said, that was my surrender moment where I said, okay, whoever's out there, whatever's out there, I'm ready. Like, help me. I am ready for something to change.
Hell yeah, dude. So then where did you first start?
It was just a couple months later where I think it must have been from YouTube because I don't think I wasn't on many social media apps at that time, but I was kind of leaning into more of the universe and spirituality and manifesting and just kind of the woo side of life. And I just started playing and just started kind of getting more open minded. Having the spaciousness of the shutdown was such a blessing for me at that time because I was really able to start exploring other careers, other ideas. I started like designing websites. I was like, oh, this is fun. And just getting to like tap into different things that I never played with before and
Creativity
started so
side.
exactly, exactly. I had
Yeah.
suppressed it for so long that I just started letting myself play and get curious and just following like, oh, okay, that felt really good. I didn't like this other thing too much. And just constantly taking in that feedback and just following the breadcrumbs. I don't even feel like I had open doors to follow at the time. I was just looking like, okay, there's the next breadcrumb. There's the next one. There's the next. And then eventually I was like, oh, there's a stepping stone. Oh, there's another stepping stone. And it was just opening the aperture one day at a time, one moment at a time. And then it was after a couple months later that I opened that first online business and just kind of went for it. Just really was like, okay, what's the worst that could happen? I closed it down in a month. And that was the first open door.
Oh my gosh, I love that. We're so relatable to the exact same story. Like literally that's how Deep Waves was born. Was
Oh my
because I
goodness.
was
I
stuck
love
in
it.
chaos for like freaking years and abusive relationships and just on and on and on. All this chaos surrounding me that like as soon as I got out of that, I was able to actually tap into my peaceful side, my spiritual side because I really wasn't safe to be me, I guess, in my relationships. And so once I was out, I was like, hell yeah, dude, I get to be me. I get to find out what I love to do. And then boom, Deep Waves was born. I was like, yes.
It's
So
so
yeah, I think
powerful.
it's like, yeah, I think that a lot of people almost like and crave to stay in the chaos because that's where they're getting all of their highs and their lows and it feels so good and it feels shitty. It feels good. It feels shitty, right? They love to be stuck on that roller coaster, but it like it almost takes people like us to like get off that roller coaster and see what else can be done, like see what other rides we can ride, you know what I mean? Like it was so beautiful to be able to tap into that creativity side of me. It was just beautiful. And congratulations to you. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very
It has
welcome,
been a
girl.
journey. I feel like now I'm just on a different roller coaster. Like I healed the chaotic roller coaster and the kind of all the overachiever and those types, but now I'm like on the roller coaster of entrepreneurship and business owner and like how do you scale? And it's just so fun because life literally gets to be what you make of it, and it's just exciting.
It is so exciting. And for me personally, I've got so many things in the works right now that I have to be like on the DL about, but I cannot wait to be like, look what I'm doing in my life. Like I cannot wait to
Oh,
make these
it's like
big
that creation
announcements. So
mode.
yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
totally. So then for listeners that might feel stuck in the cycles of self-sabotage, what would you tell them?
I say tuning inward is the best thing you can do for yourself. So, everyone that's listening right now, like, let's just play a game because I want to show you how sneaky the subconscious can be. In a moment, I'm going to ask
Let's do it.
everyone to take the deepest, biggest breath that you possibly can, as much air into your body that you can. And then you're going to hold it at the top. Okay. So, everyone listening, breathe in as big as you can, all the air, hold it at the top. And now suck in just a little bit more air. And now let it all out. And for anyone that was able to suck in air at that second point, Why didn't you take in your fullest breath the first time, knowing that you're going to take in the biggest breath you could? This is a playful
Oh,
example of how we subconsciously, unknowingly, are living out of set points that we create for ourselves. That's like a beautiful example of how
I
it's
love that
playing that 99.
example. That
Isn't
was
that
beautiful.
fun? I remember
Yeah,
the
you
first time
aced
someone did
that.
that for me. I was like, oh, why didn't I take in the biggest breath when I knew
Why
I was
didn't
going
you?
to? And so this is how the subconscious works. It's so sneaky and it's so innocent. I kind of liken it to like a little kid because, again, it was developed when we were little, primarily. And
Yeah.
so it's really tuning into like, how are you unknowingly playing out these limiting beliefs or these limitations that we picked up from past experiences or when we were younger? So think about a goal that you have right now. Think about something that you're really excited to step into. Maybe there's a little bit of fear, but it's like your number one goal. You're so bought into it. And just tuning in, trusting whatever naturally pops up. What comes to mind when I ask the question, one fear I have about achieving this goal is, just see what naturally pops up. The subconscious is not like the conscious mind. It doesn't just have an easy equation that we can find, but it's tuning into like, what are these unknown, how do you say it? Like these hidden messages or these hidden beliefs that we're bought into. Did you try it, Tasha? Did anything come up?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm super
Yeah.
excited, like I said. Oh, yeah.
I
Thank you for
really
that.
love helping people see that like these blocks that are within us, the ways that we keep ourselves stuck, they are nothing more than feedback and ways of trying to protect ourselves. That part, that fear that keeps you playing small, that keeps you from playing at 100%, it's trying to help you. It's trying to serve you in one way or another. And so in my work, I really help people see like, what is this intention? What is that block trying to support you with? What does it want for you? Because when you can see what that block needs and what it's trying to do, you can learn how to meet that intention without buying in to the self-sabotaging behavior or pattern. And so it just creates a more easeful, more compassion based way of moving towards our goals and accomplishments and what we're creating in this world.
Exactly. So then how did you get into breath work?
I, again, just some one day I was part of the program and I loved it, but it was kind of scary at the same time. So I grew up pretty severely asthmatic. And when I started breath work, I had a really hard time trusting my body. I was so afraid of triggering an asthma attack or just not being able to have capacity for all the energy that comes through. Because if you haven't done breath work, it moves a lot of energy. It's clearing, it's powerful, it's potent, and it was intense at first. But then as I just started leaning into it and playing with it, I loved how I felt every single time after I would go through a breathing experience. Even when it took me a moment to really release that fear and lean into the experience, the clarity and the energy and just the vibrancy that was present afterwards. Whether like sometimes there's really strategic downloads and sometimes it's just like an energetic feeling. There was even one time where I had no experience at all, and I had the biggest life lesson come from that. I remember my coach at the time because I was so distraught after we finished the breath work. The entire time, I had no visualizations, no colors. It was just like a black slate behind my eyes, no spiritual experience or anything. I was like, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? Where did I go wrong with this? And I remember her telling me, she doesn't remember this years later, which is so funny because to me, it was like the biggest aha. So she tells me, what if the experience you're meant to have is the exact experience you're meant to have? And
Exactly.
I remember just sitting with that and being what if this feeling of like, how can you can't do breath work wrong? And yet I was trying to make it mean something about me. And ever since then, I realized there's not always this right or wrong. Whatever the experience is, what if that is exactly what I was meant to receive? And it helped me open up to more of a trust in myself, a trust of life, and really being able to see that in every single experience, the highs, the lows, the heavy, the light, every single experience provides feedback and provides lessons that are there if we want them.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, as you were mentioning earlier, you had experienced anxiety at such a young age, 5 and 6. So it's like, I mean, that's intense. And it's almost like all of us are put into this box, right? And once we reach a certain breaking point is really when we start to open that box out and we want to expand and grow. And so, you know what I mean? Like that's where we get the creativity side, is once we can step out of that box and be like, oh shit, there is more out here. Like, dang, like I don't have to be just a mom and a wife and a sister and a this and a that. Like, I can be more. This is super cool.
Yes, it's like that yes
Yeah.
and energy. It's like yes to all these titles and what else? Yeah.
Exactly. So then many people listening right now are entrepreneurs and creatives. So how do you help clients integrate mindset mastery, not just in their personal life, but in their business life as well?
I always say how we do one thing is how we do all things. So the patterns that you notice playing out as you're trying to grow or scale or start your business, you're going to see those patterns in your relationships, in your family structures, in your health and fitness um, areas of life, because it's all a mirror for each other. So really getting clear and honest. Where are the patterns? Like, where are they and how are they playing out? What can you notice? And building up that awareness, and then it's just taking a non judgmental, compassionate lens, just putting on the observer hat. We're not judging, we're not getting critical, we're not trying to make anything change, just getting curious with why is this pattern here? What is the purpose? What is its intention? Again, how is it trying to help? And I liken blocks and patterns and these things that keep us stuck to like toddlers. They're so innocent and they're trying to help and they want what's best for us and they want us to be successful and thriving, but they just do not have the best strategy. They don't have the full picture. They don't have the awareness that we have as adults. And so sometimes their way of helping is really ineffective and doesn't always feel the best. But when we can see the block or the pattern through that lens of like, oh, it's just like a little kid. It's trying to help. It just doesn't know the best way. We become naturally so much more compassionate with ourselves. And when we do this, the blocks will naturally start lessening and dissipating, even with just that lens. Because most of the time, these blocks, they're just looking to be met and seen. There's these universal blocks that kind of they play out in different ways for everyone, depending on so many factors. But it's always boiling down to either acceptance or safety. Like it's just wanting to protect you from something. It just really wants to keep you safe. And seeing these things that keep us stuck with that lens of like, oh, it's trying so hard. It doesn't have the best strategy. The strategy sucks, whatever it is. It's like, oh, it's trying.
Yeah.
It wants so much. And then you can tune in like, okay, how can we move forward in a way that's actually strategic, that's actually efficient, but while also meeting the intention of that blocker pattern? Because that's how you start moving forward. The blocks are not in the way, they're stepping stones as you move forward. And so, again, it's starting with
Yeah.
awareness, really getting clearer on what are these patterns, what are the self sabotaging ways, how do they show up, and just looking at it with honesty, just objectively looking like it's data, because that's all it is. It's data. And then let's upgrade that approach. Let's take the new approach, the one that we know consciously is strategic and efficient and what we want to do, pairing it with that inner intention of creating safety and nourishing our little inner children and our souls and whatever we need as our human selves. And that combination creates such a powerful, easeful, not easy, but easeful way of moving forward towards whatever it is that you want to create. Because, and I always say too, any desires that are on your heart are there for a reason. That idea that you want to start,
Yep.
whatever it is that you want to bring to life, it's on your heart for a reason. And it's up to you to listen
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, listen to that. Don't listen to your ego. Your ego is a bitch. Like, it's standing in the way. Kick its ass and get it out of there because it doesn't want you to do good things.
I would say that They can be in the car, but you're in the driver's seat.
Perfect. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So then tell us more about your signature group program, the Magnetic Mastery. What kind of transformation do your clients experience through that container?
Yeah, great question. This has actually been, I just recently retired that and have introduced a new offering, which is called Eudaimonia Embodied. And it's all built off of magnetism and really self mastery, which is what um, that had been created for. So it's coming into your most authentic self because at the end of the day, you get to live life on your terms. And most people think it's the other way
Mhm.
around. Like when I live life based on what others think I should be doing, whether that's family, society, a spouse, whatever it is, you're like, okay, I'm doing all these
Again, the
things so
box.
that other people will be happy. So they want all these things. You're actually outsourcing your own natural magnetism. The more aligned you are with who you are and what you want authentically, genuinely, unapologetically, the more you're in this natural aura of confidence and magnetism because you're so on purpose with what you, as a unique soul in this world, are creating in this world. Because everyone will have different desires, everyone will have different goals, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful and perfect. That's what this world needs. So, whatever it is that you feel in your heart, let's help you A, name it, call it forward, own that you want something bigger than what you have now, that you want something more out of life than what you're seeing right now, knowing that, like, okay, if you want it, it's here for you. So then it's looking strategically. What is the action plan, the game plan, the roadmap to get you from point A to point B? And then we're clearing everything that comes up along the way. And in a way that's really focused on bridging like high level coaching with me, really getting one on one experience, really getting those coaching needs met, and building it with a community of other like minded people that are doing that as well. And again, the goals get to be your unique goal. So we're building this community of diversity and creativity and lots of different flow because at the end of the day, as we walk towards whatever we're walking towards, our blocks and fears and doubts will get kicked up. So, this is a super safe, structured container to clear it up as it's coming up so that you're not sitting with it and trying to get in this back and forth of like, I'm working through it, constantly working through it. It's like, okay, let's
Yeah.
let's get over to the other side of it. Let's use this. It's a stepping stone to what's next. And it's a 6 month long container that really holds everyone from start to finish. Because at the end of the day, that consistency, that momentum, that doing the thing, not waiting for inspiration to strike, not waiting for motivation, you are held to feel that inspired action, whether or not energetically you're feeling it that day. You know, we all know, like, think about the gym. How often is it like, okay, I know I need to go work out. I don't feel like it right now. That right there is what
Right.
we clear no matter what your goal is.
Perfect. Awesome. That's wonderful. Congratulations. So, what have
Yeah.
been some of your greatest success stories from that?
Oh, great question. Especially at
Yeah. Tell us success.
especially at first, I started working with a lot of startups and like younger entrepreneurs as well, because they were very much mirrors for what I was going through. So helping people launch their
Yeah.
businesses or just go from their first couple of clients to consistent months, consistent networking and marketing and all of that has been so exciting because I got to watch, it was primarily women too, starting salons, starting spas, starting their own coaching businesses. And now here we are years later, and I like they're still going so strong. They're still scaling. It's so exciting. And then I had one girl come to me when she was right out of college, and her goal was working on more confidence. And it was so precious because that was my first time where someone hadn't come up to me for a really strategic goal. I was like, oh, I can help you feel more confident. Now she's making six figures as a hairstylist in the Midwest, doing what she loves, and has cleared so much of her like over responsibility and codependency with her family. I have helped people with like money stories and just clearing out old money mindset, which is really special to me because I growing up, we were basically at the poverty line, did not have did not have the money, did not see examples of that. And it was so challenging when I first got into being a business owner. I kept projecting all of my money
Right.
stories onto my business and my clients and all of that. So that's something that's always near and dear to my heart is when I get to help people start really owning their authority around money and finances and letting go of all the shoulds of life and really just stepping into this is my life. What else? I
Yes.
recently
Right?
helped someone, they
Yeah.
just hit a year of sobriety. That has been magical, so
Yay.
amazing. Supporting that has been incredible. I don't know. I feel like I could go on and on. I love my
I
clients.
love that. Right? There are so many success stories because that's just the line of work that we're in. Like, it's always success.
I was going to say, even when the external goal changes or shifts or the timeline doesn't match up, I just feel like every single time I get off of a call with someone, we're both just in this high vibe energy of this infinite potential, of
Yes.
this what else is true about life? Like, how colorful can life be? How deep can life be? So that, because really at the end of the day, and a lot of us know this, it's not even about the goals that we're going for. We love goals because we're fun, that's fun. And most of the time we're in this ambitious, high achieving, high performing world. It's when you start feeling so good and so free and spacious on the inside, like that's a win that you get to experience every single day, regardless of what the goal itself is doing. I just find like that still kind of blows my mind. I remember waking up to that in that first year of my coaching program, being like, wait, you mean it's not about the money? It's not about the number of clients? What?
Yeah. So, how do you personally celebrate your wins?
I do lots of dance parties. I call them abund dances. So I just put on
Yay.
music, I move my body, I jam. That's really fun. Um, I also am really into just getting outside. So I have a lot of natural woods in my space. So I'll go out and just be with the trees and nature and just let it sink in. Because for me, I'm not a very, how do I say it? Like, I'm not a loud celebrator. I'm not the one that calls up my family and friends or anything like that to share in that sense. Because for me, it took
Right.
so long to just accept wins and celebrations. That perfectionist in me was like, unless it is done and had a 100% was perfect, not worth celebrating. That took a long time for me to rewire. So for me, slowing it down and letting my body receive the celebration and just so like sinking in it, soaking in it is how I will celebrate myself because it just feels juicy, feels so good,
I was just
but
going to
it's really
say that
easy to go
word.
too fast.
I
I
was
love
just going to say it.
it.
I love it. Okay, you're also the resident life coach for the Travel Through Trauma. Tell us about that,
Yeah,
which is
travel through
huge, such
trauma.
important work. So thank you for
Oh,
that, by the way.
thank you. It is so rewarding. It's incredible. We're a grassroots nonprofit that was founded a couple years ago by one of my soul sisters, Asha Farasadi. And what we do is we've brought together a team of mental health professionals and different types of coaches and people that just own their work. And we brought everyone together to create a 4-month long curriculum that we'll send clients through. And this includes licensed mental therapists and support there. There's life and wellness coaching. There's fitness coaches. There's financial coaching. There's language and culture classes. And so we've developed this really all encompassing program for our clients where they are getting the support and education and just personal work that they didn't have access and resources to prior to our program. And then at the end, we send them on a solo trip down to Costa Rica right now. That's where we're sending people, our clients. And because at the end of the day, we all have developed so much healing and personal growth from our own solo travels. And we found so much impact on a personal and community level when we ourselves had done our solo trips that we know the power and healing energy of travel. So we combined the program that we created with an intentional solo trip for our clients. And then they come back, they do a little bit of life coaching with me. We have partners like BetterHelp and some other support for them after the program. And we're just taking people that have come from underprivileged, underdeveloped backgrounds to help them, give them that opportunity to step into this next level for themselves, step into the life that they know they want. And from there, they get to become ripple effects in their own communities, in their own families, healing generational trauma, healing their lineages, anything that's present for them. And it's just, it's so, so, so beautiful. And it's so different. There's nothing that's out there like this right now. No one else has combined mental health with travel in the way that we have. And it was just this year that we started running clients through the full curriculum, the full program. And it is incredible the effects that it has had and the changes and shifts that we get to see in just a couple months. It's amazing, truly.
Wow, that's incredible. No, you're right. Nobody has thought of mental health and travel combo. That's amazing. And same, like I've learned so much on my travel journeys. Like it's incredible. I just write it down.
And
Share
for
that
everyone listening,
experience. Like,
it it doesn't have to be a big international multi-week backpacking trip. Just doing what gets you out of your comfort zone. What gets you out of what you're used to, what you're familiar with. Even if it's just taking
exactly.
yourself to dinner or going to your local, like on a camping trip to your local park or whatever it is, you can take it down and bite size it into what feels good and like a little bit of a growth edge for you. But there's just so much power intentionally when you intentionally and independently do something that makes you feel your confidence and your ownership and your capability.
Right. But then also, it's got to be 100% intention behind that as well, too. Like you can't just say, I'm going to go to the beach just to lay here and get a tan.
Yeah,
Like there needs to be more
exactly.
than that. It needs to be deeper. Like, what is the intention behind your solo trip? You know,
Yeah.
like,
Our
and
motto at
spiritual
the
healing.
nonprofit mhm. Our motto at the nonprofit is exploring yourself by exploring the world around you. And it's like tuning like how can you bridge that inner and outer exploration? As you're learning from the world, what are you learning about yourself? How are you tuning in? Anything like that is powerful and needed. You need
Yeah,
that for yourself.
you do. You really do. It's time for you in this chaotic world. Okay, so then a personal question. If you could offer one affirmation to anyone listening right now who's on the cusp of their own transformation, what would it be?
You get to define success. I'll say that again. You get to define success. Something that I found so powerful when I was really starting my own entrepreneurship journey and leaning into creating something for me was I was so bought into this idea that other people get to decide what's right or wrong. They get to decide how successful I am, how successful my business is, whatever it is. And when I woke up to this, and it's like I have it one of the first things on my website because even years later, because it was just so impactful. I was like, oh, success isn't even a black or white thing. It's not a metric. I get to decide what success is. Even in every single moment, I can decide what success is. So some days, yeah, I'm focusing on the metrics. And other days, me taking time and hitting the pause button and just meeting whatever part of myself got activated or is stressing or whatever it is, that's success. Just as much as when I, have a full on launch or when I sell out a program, whatever it is, like it all gets to be a win because I am defining what's successful to me and you get to do that for you. And there's so much freedom in owning that.
Absolutely. Ah, so much freedom. So then what do you have like a book or a quote or a teacher who has deeply shaped your journey? Because for me, I've got like
Mm.
several like Dr. Wayne Dyer and even Tony Robbins and Oprah Winfrey and Master Shi Yi and like all these people that have just really, really kept me grounded and on my path to success, really.
I would say I want to start by naming the coach that really introduced me to the coaching world. And I still am part of her programs and world, Alyssa Nobrega, Masterful Coaching. She's the one that created the training program I started with. And then I love Eckhart Tolle and his work. I like A New Earth, recommend that to everyone. Oh, and then another book that I've really enjoyed, I've read it several times, is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And that's kind of this idea around creativity and ideas and taking inspired action and not just sitting on things. So I recommend that one as well. And the last book I'll recommend is called The Big Leap. And I am blanking
Oh,
on the author right now. Is it on my bookshelf? Oh, I think it's packed away. But The Big Leap has a little goldfish leaping across bowls in it. And it's just about like those upper limits, those subconscious those subconscious set points I mentioned earlier. Like, how are we unknowingly holding ourselves back? And leaning into like, what else can life be? So I think those are some of my just top recommendations that were huge ahas and have been amazing teachers for me.
perfect. Thank you for sharing that. And I'll share a book too. So this will go into the business side with your passionate creativity side, and it's called Fascinate by Sally Hogshead. Fascinate. This is a beautiful book.
Fascinating. Mm.
Yep.
Okay, putting it on my
This
TBR
book is
right now.
amazing. All about your brand and your mixed with creativity and passion and the language of this and that. It's incredible. So if you're trying to mix your creativity side with like trying to start a business, like this book is amazing.
I
Amazing.
love it. Mm. I
Yeah.
love recommendations. What else? Where else can I get juicy information from?
Me too. That's the point of healing and growing and learning is we do this together. It's a community.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the
Yes. Oh,
beautiful
so
part
good.
about it.
So
Okay.
true.
Another question I have for you. If listeners take one small action today to start aligning with their authentic self, because it feels so damn good to be authentic, what would you suggest?
I would say if you're not already doing this, start a gratitude journal every single morning. You can even do it on your phone. What are 3 things you're grateful for? And any day that
Oh,
you feel you have a hard time finding 3 things, double it. What are 6 things you're grateful for? So I started doing this kind of early on, and it was game changing. And at first, I had a really, really hard time accessing gratitude. I was like, I didn't want to be grateful for what I would consider the basic shit. And so that was where I started. It's like, today, I am grateful for my bed. I am grateful for the roof. I am grateful for my breath. And I just started, and my rule at first, especially because I have to set rules for myself. I'm a rule lover. I said no repeating each week. So I couldn't say the same thing every single day. And
right.
like I said, any time it was challenging, double that number. Because the more you're in gratitude for what you have, the more you're just naturally in flow with life. You are naturally looking for ideas. You are naturally more creative. You're naturally just in movement. And so,
Yeah, you're in
and on top of
abundance
that,
with this,
yes,
and it hears
that's
you.
exactly what I was going to
It hears
say.
you.
Yes, yes, you're in this energy of like, I have everything I need. I get to want more things, but I have everything I need right here. And that abundance energy, that abundance mindset ripples out literally in all areas of life 24/7. And it's powerful. And it just feels so good. You have a natural glow when you're in gratitude. People notice, people feel pulled to you. It just is it's anyone, no matter what you're working towards, no matter where you're at in your goal, if you're just at the very beginning or if you're at that 99% mark, start bringing in an intentional daily gratitude practice.
I absolutely agree. And I just talked about this yesterday with another podcast guest is I was telling him the first thing that I do every single morning when I open up my eyes, I list the 3 things that I'm grateful for. And since I started doing that, it's just I swear the blessings. I can't even tell you.
Yes, it is wild. And this was honestly one of the bigger things that opened me up to more like spirituality. It was just so I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how much goodness comes in when you're leaning into that. Like it doesn't make
No, it
conscious
is. It's
sense.
ridiculous.
It's
Honestly, it's so
incredible.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Everyone listening, like even if you're skeptical, just 7 days for the next week, do it every single morning. Name 3 things you're grateful for and just see what changes in 7 days. I can almost guarantee that you will be committed to a long-term practice if you just try it.
Oh my gosh, guarantee without a doubt. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for that conversation. I appreciate you being a part of the Deep Waves family, and thank you for sharing your story and being so vulnerable and sharing your tools and resources and just your knowledge and wisdom. So thank you again for joining me today.
Absolutely. This has been wonderful. Such a great conversation. Thank you again for having me.
Yeah, same, likewise. Well, such a powerful reminder that when we shift our inner landscape, we can open the path to peace, purpose, and authentic alignment. If Brittany's message resonated with you today, I invite you to follow her on Instagram at brittany.cosgrove and explore her offerings at brittanycosgrove.com, including her magnetic mastery program and her beautiful work with travel through trauma. Thank you for tuning in and sharing the sacred space with us today. May you continue to release what no longer serves you, embrace your truth fully, and to walk your path with grace and courage. Until next time, stay aligned, stay grounded, and stay radiant. Thank you again, Brittany. Have a beautiful day, everybody. For more information on where to find me, please visit deepwavescoaching.com and on my Facebook and Instagram page at Deep Waves Life Coaching. Thanks so much for watching.